Dumelang Tsibinki. Welcome to another fire episode of the Mobile School Podcast. Remember, keep it simple, man. Don't like, don't subscribe, don't share, don't tell a friend. Nobody cares. Today I want to talk about our bad habit of shitting on billionaires. Like recently, Jeff Bezos went on space and everybody was like pissed the fuck off. Like, no, how do you go on space when people are starving, when we don't have schools? I have one message to you. Shut up. Let billionaires do billionaire things. This thing of expecting billionaires to be poor is really bad. Amazon employs 1.3 million people. Be thankful. Be thankful to that man. My cat is ruining my podcast, but it's okay. Dog, you killing me, dog. Amazon is employing 1.3 million people. So hate Jeff Bezos all you want. Talk about how he should pay taxes, which we all agree should pay a bit of taxes. But I personally think if somebody employs 1.3 million people who pay tax, number one. Number two, a few months ago, they voted against unionizing. If you work for a company and you have the option to unionize and everybody in the majority votes no against unionizing, things are good in that company. So let's be grateful to Jeff Bezos. And this 1.3 million is just not in the US, it's all over the world. So let's show some respect. Let him go to space. Let him not pay tax. He already does enough for society. This is the same guy who got divorced. Half of his money went, didn't complain, still doing his thing. Let's show some respect to billionaires, guys. The more billionaires we have, the more millions of jobs will be created. And like, don't act like he's the one who bought that spaceship. No, he pays engineers. He pays a lot of people who have done hectic degrees for space exploration to have jobs like that. So do you want us to be left with psychologists, like people with degrees from psychology degrees and sociology degrees because engineers don't have jobs because you libtards don't want space exploration? Fuck out of here with that nonsense. Next topic, I want to talk about China. China has been found to be banning LGBTQI groups on WeChat, which is crazy because China is trying to compete with the US, but their politics when it comes to LGBTQI community is going to be a big problem for them, and it's going to be a big problem for me as well as somebody who thought they had a chance. But if they're going to come to Africa, which is already dealing with stupid ass leaders who are calling the LGBTQ community names and putting their lives in danger, it's really not good. So China must not come to Africa with WeChat if they're going to silence the LGBTQI community. We'll build our own WeChat and have LGBTQI community people on our platform. If they're going to come with that type of nonsense, they must not come at all. We have a lot of shit to worry about than have like a platform go crazy on LGBTQI people. What are my alphabet people? Hope you're all good. Another thing I want to talk about, still on China. China has been accused of hacking Microsoft. I don't know why is that a big deal. That's why it's happening now. We're in the information war. If your country, your company is not protecting its data, somebody will exploit it for their own benefit. But with this one, it's even crazy. China just sponsored them, the hackers, and after they hacked it, they're like, you can do whatever you want. We just don't care about that information. Spread it around in the dark web, give it to your other friends so they can exploit it. But this is war, and that's something we need to understand, that we need to own servers. We need to make sure that we train as many white hackers as possible. So if you start a company that's going to collect a lot of data, make sure that you get a few white hackers to go through that system and try to hack it and show you the bugs that are there. But don't just start things hoping that it's going to be a smooth ride. We're getting into a very dangerous stage now. Like, if you thought a 411 scam from Nigeria was heavy, that's nothing. If you think identity theft was heavy, that's nothing. The information war that's coming will cause crazy chaos in the country. We even saw it last week with like a few people putting a message out there and it's spread on social media, which has led to a lot of looting, a lot of chaos in South Africa. A lot of people are struggling to get food because trucks were stuck and some were banned. And those who were looting, we hope it was worth it, but what are you gonna eat this week? You should have thought about that, and you were saying you'll see. Let's see how you go, how far you go with it. Talking about looting, we really need to understand looting in South Africa is not different from corruption. So if your mayor in your area is giving like 5 million to build houses and he doesn't build the houses and he buys himself a car and you congratulate him, you're part of the problem. That was money for you to have a better house, or for your family to have a better house. Somebody in your family doesn't have a house. But we love corruption, we love corrupt people, we love praising people who don't do much. Like, people now apply for tenders not to do their job but to have access to the money, so they don't do their job and they know nothing's going to happen to them. Also, I still think Duduzane Zuma and his sister must be jailed for what they did. If we let this slide, we're going to live in a very dangerous world, and we're already living in a dangerous world as we speak, where we have a bunch of privileged kids complaining that their corrupt dad has been jailed and asking their tribe members to start wars. They need to face the consequences. This has nothing to do with Zulus and Xhosas. It has to do with South Africa and the constitution. And if you break the law, you should go to jail. What type of shitty world you want to live in, where people can just break the law and not go to jail? Not a good world you want to live in. In closing, I want to talk about shadow banning. Since we started talking about China, like, everything you see on your timeline is not because your friend put it there. It's because algorithms set it up in such a way that it's gonna keep you on the platform for long. So from all the pages you've liked, they'll start promoting all that stuff. So if you find yourself very angry on social media because you're seeing a lot of posts about, let's say, the Phoenix massacre, which is still a big issue that needs to be dealt with by the government, the police, the security service, it doesn't make sense that so many people were killed and it was just swept under the carpet. If we're gonna say, hey, Zuma was troublesome and all the looters are troublesome, we need to say the same thing about the people with guns who shot civilians. Even if they were pretending to save their property, some of them were, some were just walking around killing people. Those ones should be kept, should be found, thrown in jail, get fucked in the ass without Vaseline. In closing, I just want to say, let's focus and understand that whatever you like, whatever you share on social media, you're creating a pathway for algorithms to know what you like to make yourself feel better. So if you're in a happy mood, they know, okay, let's give you cats, you love cats. If you're in a bad mood, let's give you xenophobia, let's give it racism. And you're gonna see it and you're gonna stay there, you're gonna read the comments, you're gonna like, you're gonna engage. That's all they need. And the more you engage, the more money you spend, they make off you, because that's advertising. With that said, I feel like I'm being shadow banned because my Twitter posts, which I always fire, always get like 2 retweets, and it's people that I have to say, oh, did you see my fire shit? And they're like, no, not really. But I think some are hating. With that said, Chovicho, aware.